So, Jim, I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing your inspiring story, what you've been able to do thus far in terms of working with your body and nourishing your body. It's just been incredible to be a part of your journey thus far.
Thank you. It's been an incredible journey. In the literal sense of the word incredible, like something I never thought was possible for me. So I guess I thought everything was fine. Um, I consider myself generally healthy. I didn't have any kind of persistent issues that I was aware of or anything like that, but I was carrying around a lot of extra weight and that kept growing. I had tried a lot of things, you could say, over the years, over the decades, actually, all the way back to like Atkins and South Beach type stuff back in the day. More recently, the new versions of that, like keto and other types of things. And, they would always work right away. They would work for a short term, for a little bit. They were never sustainable for me. And so, as a consequence, I definitely, you know, some small things that were happening as I was up at all hours of the night, like because I don't know why, but I would just wake up. And so I would have really horrible sleep, snoring and just waking up all the time. And, uh, you know, and I didn't realize it until after NF, but I was pretty much sluggish all the time too. I thought that was a consequence of, for at one point I thought maybe it was a consequence of being vegetarian. I was vegetarian for a few years was one other thing I tried. Not because of that. Was vegetarian for a lot of reasons, but I thought it would have health benefits as well. And no, it was really just was eating garbage apparently, which I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
powerful, powerful. Thanks for that.
Yeah, I was really skeptical at first because I had the same anticipation for every other thing that I had tried. Um, and so, um, but I just decided I knew some people that had worked with you guys and trusted them and saw their results. And so I just decided to follow the program and I got the results like very quickly, miraculously. And again, I was still skeptical, even as I was riding the slide down in my weight and feeling the energy coming on. I was still like, okay, this is going to just bounce back just like everything else. And it didn't. It surprisingly stuck. And I even, I had been losing some weight and getting in shape over probably about 2 years. And I managed to drop about 20 pounds over that 2 year period. But since starting with you guys, I think it was October. Um, so we're in January, like end of January now. So maximum of like 4 months. I'm down like another 30 pounds. So 2 years to get to 20, 4 months to drop another 30, which is supposed to be the harder, like as you go on, it's supposed to be harder to lose. And it actually ended up just the opposite. So
Mm,
yeah.
incredible.
And what I wanted to say about that also was I even, because it's been chilly here. I live in LA, so my what I consider chilly is definitely warmer than other places, but still chilly for here. And so I've been giving up a little bit sometimes on my morning walks and things like that. And definitely I need to do those, but at the same time, it hasn't impacted my energy level. It hasn't impacted my weight, none of that, which I'm sure it would have under my old way of looking at the world. Yeah. I mean, you talk about how there's no restriction, right? That's one big thing. Like I felt, for example, with keto, uh, I felt like if you don't if you don't, get the keto thing going, it's useless. Like you can eat all the bacon you want. If you eat not enough to put you in ketosis, then it doesn't work. And so there's like always this battle of, you know, it's not like I'm going to do the wrong thing. and it's not going to work. Whereas with NF, I've been able to do the wrong thing quite a few times and have it still work. Wrong is not even a word we're supposed to use, I'm sure, but it allows, it's much more, it fits into my life a lot more. And it definitely required some adjustments. I was very used to meals being a quick affair. In fact, a lot of them came in the mail for me for a while. I subscribed to some of those services where they send you the meals, and they're supposedly clean. They're supposedly, fresh. And I didn't even look into it. I just bought their claims and went with it. And once I joined NF, I had a few of those still in my fridge. I actually looked at it, I'm like, holy cow, these are not fresh at all. And they're definitely not clean. So it required an adjustment of like, okay, I'm going to have to actually do this for myself instead of relying on other people to do it for me. So there's a little bit of that went away. But I think now that it's coming back, it took a little bit of effort to figure out how to buy clean things, like what actually is, what can go into the different jars that you talk about in terms of what's healthy to eat and in the right proportions. But now that that's sort of built in, working with you, it's really helped me figure out, okay, now I can pretty much figure this out for myself. And it's just, it can take as little time as it took to microwave one of those meals, really, to prepare a meal now. But that was the biggest hurdle for me. And I think it could be a hurdle for some people to think about, but honestly, it wasn't that. Once I decided that the commitment was stronger than the than the little inconvenience of learning something, kind of went away. I think the biggest thing that I've gotten from this program from NF is that it's, and every program's probably going to say this about themselves, but it really is completely different. It's not a diet plan. It's not something to do for a little while and then forget about. Yes, there's immediate results, but it's really just like a way of changing your relationship with food from something to do, like an activity or something you do while doing something else, which is how a lot of people eat, into more like, okay, a fuel for your life to be able to actually have the energy to do everything else that you want to do, and to not have it be something that drags you down or holds you back from all those other things. And I'm 52, I'm turning 53 in a few weeks, and I kind of thought like, okay, the rest of my life is going to look like a few more pounds every year. And that's just the way it is, because everything I've tried doesn't move the needle much or for long. And it's just amazing to not have to be so resigned about that anymore, because I actually know what knowing is the first step, but knowing and then also putting into practice what I need to do. And it's really not that hard, I guess, is what it comes down to. I guess that's the nutshell version of all of this, is that it's really not that hard. And in terms of what you need to do, and having the support definitely helped make it feel like it's not that hard. But I think the biggest one was the calories in, calories out myth. I bought that hook, line, and sinker. I couldn't see any other way that it could be. It made complete sense. Like, whatever I put in, I have to burn it off. But when you think about how, there's no way people can burn off like 12,000 calories if they're an elite athlete or whatever, but there's somehow or other they're doing that, but it doesn't add up. So they're eating the food, but it doesn't actually burn. So it's just, that was pretty fascinating to me to learn that, because I just assumed I needed to work out more or move more or eat less. And also, and I kind of knew on some level, this is another myth, that it didn't really, every quote unquote calorie was not the same. But and I know this isn't like an NF principle, because it's totally, there's no concept of calories in NF, but the idea of, something like I was doing IF, intermittent fasting, for a while. And basically, one of the principles there is kind of like, you can eat what you want as long as you eat it in a window. Um, and well, that kind of intuitively didn't make sense, but now I know exactly why it doesn't make sense, because the calorie isn't a calorie, quote unquote. It's like, it really matters that you eat the right things in the right proportions. Yeah, so those are two that made a difference for me.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll go back to what I shared before, which is, I think a lot of people are really resigned about their weight and their health. And I would just, and I was there. I was there. I mean, I was trying, I was doing things, but I was kind of resigned, like there might be a limit to what I can accomplish based on where I am in my life and my physical makeup and whatever that I heard from what you hear. And so I just assumed that, you know, what, unless I was willing to just like run 3 miles a day or whatever, then it wasn't gonna happen. And I would just encourage people to reconsider that it I mean, I'm at a weight that like I haven't seen for like 20 years. It's crazy. Like I have definition in my torso that I didn't even know was possible, let alone, you know, and certainly not in like just a few months. So it's, I would just encourage people to reconsider their resignation, and that it's not possible to do the same, because yeah, totally is.
Mm. Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Jim. And again, what you've been able to do thus far in your journey has been so inspiring, so incredible to be a part of. And I just want to say thank you for sharing your story today.
Thank you.